when he would come through the office, he always come through with a presence, just walking through the office. He always was walking with enthusiasm, excitement, a passion. He wasn't just walking along. And I think with his passion and presence walking through the office, people just respected him. People felt like they knew him, and when you know the person you're working for, it means a lot more than it's not just a company that they're working for. They're working for Tom, and Tom cares about me. I want to do my best.
He was one of those kind of guys that was very passionate about the things that meant something to him. So obviously why Hytrol has been so successful and why he cared so much about each and every Hytrol family member is because he demonstrated that with all of us as his Loberg family.
I hadn't been here but just a few months. I met Tom in the hallway, and I said, "Hi, Mr. Loberg," and he stopped and he looked up and he said, "That's not me." And I looked at him and I said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "No, Joy, my name's not Mr. Loberg, that's my dad. My name's Tom." But then we had a older gentleman that was a custodian. Everybody at Hytrol, including Tom, called the custodian Mr. Coleman. That to me was just amazing, how the owner of such I thought was a huge company at the time, wanted to be called Tom, but his custodian, he addressed him as a Mr. Coleman.
It was 1975, I believe, and Mr. Loberg wasn't going to be able to have a Christmas party because business was so bad, and he was so touched by that, because the Christmas party was a big thing for him.
Well, that year they didn't have the picnic, they didn't have the Christmas party. Tom always gave a Christmas gift based on the profits the company made. Well, that year the company basically didn't have any profit. But Tom called the employees in to the large meeting room at that time, explained to them, of course we all knew, been a slow year, and he handed out an envelope with a check in it.
It touched him so much that he actually went to the bank and pulled out $25 of his personal money out of his account and paid everybody a bonus that year with his own money instead of the company money.
It meant a lot. I mean, it wasn't as big a check as we normally would have got, but for it to be a personal check from Tom, it made me want to stay and work harder, because like I said, I always remembered it.
Back in, I'm thinking it was the early 2000s, maybe like 2001, was kind of a not so great time. We had like a work day. Well, one of the things about Tom's office was right outside of it, there's this great big press that when it goes down, it makes a loud noise and almost even rattled stuff in Tom's office. Still there today and still doing it. Well, when I walked into his office to tell him hello, we talked for a minute. I said, "Well, aren't you glad that you don't have that press going today? You can actually hear yourself think?" And he looked at me with the strangest look and he said, "No, I feel awful today. That means my people aren't working. And I wish they were able to work today." And that taught me a lesson about saying something without thinking about the impact on other people. And he stayed for just a few more minutes, and I heard him come out and tell Debbie that he just wasn't feeling good today. He was going home. And I think it physically made him feel bad that his people weren't working that day.
I was here when Mr. Loberg stood up at the Christmas party and said we were all getting dental insurance, and everybody just stood up and gave a standing ovation. And it wasn't a big speech. He just basically got up there and in his humble way, he said he would do it. And that's all my interactions with him. That's what I saw. Just, fierce loyalty and humbleness and extremely smart. But I always thought that's what makes companies successful, to present that kind of personality to the employees so they know that, you got their best interest at heart.
He didn't let his ego get in the way. If he saw something that he thought was good for and could benefit Hytrol, he acted. He didn't put on airs. He didn't sit around and wait for people to come to him. He took that opportunity and he acted. And those two things I've carried with me all these years since we've lost him, and they've helped me weather, and I venture to guess my fellow trustees, weather some of the trials and travails we've had without him.
There was one time in my life there that my wife and I had 3 children, 3 girls, and our youngest daughter had sleep apnea. And we needed to get her to Atlanta to hospital down there, and they were going to do some testing on her about what the problem was. Well, Tom heard about it, and he said, he's got the Hytrol plane and we will fly him down there. And he did. We spent about a month down there with her, having all these sleep studies and everything, And then when it got time for us to come back, plane came back down there and got us. It's not a funny story by any means, but it is that's the kind of person he was.
He built the health club for us. So he made sure that there was a fitness center that if you wanted to go work out, you could, and it didn't cost you anything. I mean, how does that happen? He provided a medical clinic, a doctor, a nurse practitioner, RNs, to take care, so your employees did not have to leave work if they were not feeling good. They could go to the medical clinic at no cost. So, I mean, how can you not take all of that into consideration and just say, wow?
His generosity, his loyalty to his distributor network, his loyalty to his employees, and his employees' loyalty to him. I think all came out because of this. He was a true father to the company.